Hello there and welcome back to Gemma Movie Recap. Today I'm going to recap Transporter 3, a 2008 action thriller film. The movie is directed by Olivier Megaton and starring Jason Statham as Frank Martin, a professional driver and mercenary who specializes in dangerous and illegal transport jobs. The movie follows Frank as he is hired to transport Valentina, played by Natalia Rudakova, the kidnapped daughter of a Ukrainian government official, from Marseilles to Odessa. However, Frank soon discovers that the job is more complicated than he thought, and he must contend with multiple obstacles and adversaries along the way, including a group of thugs and a corrupt American agent, played by Robert Knepper, who has his own agenda. Warning, spoilers ahead. Please be cautious. But before we start, please support our channel by subscribing and click the bell icon for future notifications. Now, let's start. After the heat in Miami, the transporter, also known as Frank Martin, is back in France. He is currently taking advantage of his retirement by going fishing frequently with his old friend Tarkoni. Meanwhile, in East Europe, a mysterious phone call is made to Leonid Tomalenko, the environmental agency minister who has been promoting environmental policies. The caller indicates that they are authorized to negotiate trading permissions. The minister vehemently declined, because he was unable to allow the release of any chemical pollutants in exchange for money. To get him to reconsider signing the contract in 24 hours, the caller abducted his daughter. Going back to Frank, he was watching some random television program when a car slammed into his home. His sleepy night was shattered by the crash. He continued to check on the critically hurt driver. He looked at the driver's license and saw that he was also a transporter. He was forced to consider the job he had turned down at this point. A few days prior, a few people approached him and demanded transportation. Frank graciously beat up these idiots before leaving. And now that driver, who was dying, has taken over. He asked him to keep him in the car rather than remove him. However, who was quickly loaded onto the ambulance. In the car, Frank also discovered a woman. She explained to Frank that they were wearing explosive bracelets that could blow if they ventured too far from the car. Frank heard this and ran outside to try to stop the ambulance, only to see it blow up. He was about to question the girl for more information when he was struck. Frank had the bracelet he had seen last night when he woke up. The caller Johansson showed up once he got dressed. He threatened to have Frank deliver packages for him. Frank had no choice but to accept. Johnson brought Frank's car as well, but it is now outfitted with a GPS and an explosive device. Frank will end up in his own car if he does anything questionable. Frank then drives off with the girl. Johnson does not specify a location for him. Just keep the minister's daughter on the move until the minister signs the contract, he demands. The two exchanged brief conversations and got to know one another on the way. Valentina is the name of the girl, and she was also abducted like Frank. But Frank is not a pushover. He immediately turned off the path and went to a friend for assistance. The mechanic friend starts doing research after spotting Frank's jewelry. Johnson sent out his troops when he noticed Frank veering off the prescribed path. Johnson's men show up as the mechanic is trying to locate the bomb transmitter. A battle starts after a short exchange of words. Frank is kicking their asses once more. Astonished is Valentina. She liked the masculinity of Frank. She goes up to mend Frank's tie when he finishes the assignment and changes into fresh clothing. The technician eventually located the signal transmitter, but it cannot be removed due to the risk of an explosion. Additionally, the bracelet cannot be defused. Frank must follow Johnson's planned itinerary. Frank's deviation has also angered Johnson, who instructs the driver to be changed. He gets Frank to answer the phone from a public place before sending the replacement driver to take control of the vehicle. Frank mounts a bicycle and hastily returns to the automobile. He successfully ejected the new driver from his automobile after a difficult stunt. However, let's get back to the minister. Because he could not watch as his daughter was taken, he sends out agents to save her and delays the contract signing. The agents started by searching Frank's home and obtaining the prior vehicle's GPS. They are slowly detecting the traces. Tarconi also found this case to be anomalous in the meanwhile. Frank called him on the phone. They discussed several topics. Frank called Johansson at the same time in an effort to consciously agree with him. He continued to keep Tarconi monitoring the signal throughout the call, searching for Johansson. However, the communication was too short to determine his precise position. To the new coordinate, Frank had to keep going. He discovers that the agents have located him as he is refueling. He swiftly drags Valentina back to the car while accelerating. Frank questioned Johansson during the escape as to why he continued to send his guys after his ass. Johansson, though, clarifies that he didn't and that he will identify the person. Frank tilts the vehicle during the pursuit in order to pass through two obstructing vehicles, then turns onto a side road. He suddenly reduces his speed and allows the agent to pass, and then picks up speed to jack the agent's car off a cliff. By this point, he begins to wonder what the package in the trunk really is. After opening the package, it turned out to be just some ordinary books. He finally realizes that the real cargo is Valentina. After all of the life and death, they developed some sort of relationship. Valentina seduces Frank by holding his car keys, resulting in them having sex. Afterwards, Valentina explained that the previous driver broke the rules for her to contact her father. As a result, Johahnson's henchman came after him before he could say a word. He was unfortunately shot and had no choice but to find Frank for help. Johansson calls the minister to warn him, but the minister wants to speak with his daughter first before signing. The revised coordinate is subsequently forwarded by Johansson to Frank for pickup. The following day, Tarconi locates the minister using his call with Johansson. Frank has already arrived at the coordinate on the opposite side. The bridge is impassable. Johansson gives the order to kill Frank after unlocking Valentina's bracelet. Frank plunges into the sea after driving off the bridge. Johansson believes that everything was resolved. Because staying in the car will lead Frank to drown, swimming up to the surface will set off the explosives. Frank, though, managed to survive by removing a flotation device from the trunk. They inflated the buoy using the tires, successfully bringing the car back to the surface. Frank and his vehicle have already been dragged ashore by the time Tarconi and the cops show up. Johansson then makes his next move, taking Valentina to a train to get away from the police, and has Valentina speak to her father on the phone. The minister has 15 minutes to sign the deal after him. Tarconi lets Frank Johansson know where he is. Frank starts his car and follows the train. Landed the car from the bridge to the top of the train successfully. He pursues Johansson all the way into the taxis. But he is too within the bracelet's detonation range, which will cause it to go off. He will be destroyed if he takes one more step. Johansson took advantage of the situation and separated the cabs. Frank must get back in the automobile, stomp on the gas, and slam into Johansson's cab. As soon as he exits, Johansson is beaten, the bracelet is unlocked with his key, Johansson is strapped with the bracelet, and the automobile is put into reverse. Johansson continues to struggle and manages to escape, but as the car draws nearer, he is inevitably blown to pieces inside the cab. After waiting until 9 o'clock without hearing from the police, the minister slowly signs the paperwork. However, as soon as Tomalenko receives word from Tarconi that Valentina is secure, the phone rings, and he rips up the EcoCorp contracts. Police raid the illicit cargo ship as well and send it away from Ukrainian ports. Later, Frank and Tarconi go back to Marseilles to fish. Valentina is aboard the boat, which is unusual, and she teases them to dine at a restaurant instead. Here the Transporter trilogy comes to a close. Thanks for tuning in to this movie recap. I hope you found it enjoyable and insightful, and that it helped you gain a better understanding of the story. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on our latest movie recaps and other exciting content. Your support is crucial in helping us keep creating high-quality videos like this one. Once again, thank you for watching, and we can't wait to see you at our next one.